Welcome to a video from thecitylifestyle.com, and in this video I just want to do a quick update on how I'm getting on with the Surface Duo. You may remember a couple of weeks ago I got one into the UK and I've been using it for the last couple of weks, and I wanted to just give you an update on how it's going so far. So first of all, I was using this with my spare SIM in there with the data, mainly for data, and I was using this Galaxy Note 20 as my daily driver. This is only a few weeks old itself, really nice phone, fantastic camera, and so I was kind of expecting mainly to use the Duo as some kind of tablet really, or secondary device. But as I was using it last week, I was finding myself more and more drawn to it, so I took the plunge and swapped my SIM card over. So my primary SIM card is in here now, and for the last week this has been my main phone. So I want to get some of how it's going with the drawbacks and what I really like about it. So first thing I have to say, the reason why I swapped it over is because I just really like using it. There's something about the form factor. Without the bumpers on it, it's really slim and light. I put the bumpers on to protect it, but it still feels incredibly slim and sophisticated. Just the dual screens, the way that it works with going from screen to screen, it feels so nice to use. And I can only describe it as if you're a laptop user, and maybe you're just using your laptop with a single screen, and then you get a second monitor or a third monitor, and you get that in your workflow and you use it all the time. Then to go back to a single screen, you find it's a bit awkward and restrictive, and that's exactly what I found on here. Having the single screen phone, when I go back to using the Note for example, I just find it really weird, and having the dual screens it feels so much better. Yet all the applications aren't set up for dual screens, but even single screen apps work really well in dual screen mode. You can have these are the use case that Microsoft always talk about, but I could be having Edge on one screen and OneNote on this screen, and I was doing the podcast show notes the other night, and that's exactly what I was doing. And I've created an app group, which is these app groups are the grouping where you can pair apps together. So for example, here is one I've got with OneNote and Edge on there, and I use that one quite often. So if you're reading through an Edge and you're reading through some notes and you want to make a note of things, then you can put it into Edge. Another one that I've done is Edge and To Do, so that you can create tasks from that as well. But there's other simple stuff, like I've got a Samsung smartwatch, and I use the Samsung Health app. So I created an app pair, which is the Samsung Health app and the Samsung Wearables app. So they go together really nice. So you've kind of got that dual screen effect there. You've got all the controls over the app, and you've got the Samsung Health app at the same time. So those are kind of the cases where you can find your own usage of those dual screens. I've got a smart home one, which has got my two devices with thermometers built into it, so I've got one on each screen. That kind of thing that you can do with it. So two screens is brilliant. Where it really comes really nice is when you get something like Outlook and you've got that spanned over two screens, and you can read the message on one side, and spanning it is really simple. You've got the messages on one side, and then you get the preview on the other side. Things like that work really well, even for Edge, just scrolling up. I've also found as well that for typing, this posture with it, with the screen at the top and the touch screen at the bottom, works really well. I can really type fast on that, using that as well. So I think that posture works really well as well. The other thing I've found as well, in single screen mode, when you're holding it like this, it still feels a more useful screen size than the tall thin screen of the Note 20. The Note is a fantastic screen, 120 Hz screen, but it feels weird now to have that really tall thin screen. Maybe it's better for one-handed use, but I prefer this. So even if the optimal size, I would say, for a single screen is probably this form factor as well, this size. So again, that's another win for the Surface. I've not had any app issues so far. Everything's worked fine. There's not been a huge technical issues with it. There was an update last week. I'd only been using it for a few days when I got the update, that fixed a lot of the issues with it. It fixed a lot of launcher issues, it fixed a lot of rotation issues, touch screen gestures seemed to work better, and in fact the launcher was updated as well. You've got the coloured icons on there now for the launcher. So this is now using the beta version of the launcher, because I was already subscribed to the joined the beta program, and it automatically installed that. Previously that wasn't available, and now it is. So that's installed on there as well. So that's nice. I've got the beta version of that. I've got all my apps ported over, moved everything over, Authenticator, and that's another area where the dual screen works quite well. If you use Authenticator a lot, that's for the two-factor authentication. You can have the Authenticator on one screen and the application you're trying to enter on this one. So that again makes things easier. Now, in terms of downside issues I've had with this, the main one I've had so far is in a cradle in the car. I've got a cradle in the car that holds the phone, and I found, first of all, it gets a little bit confused on which screen to use when you put it in the cradle like that. You double tap to activate the screen. See, it's still on that screen. Doesn't get it wrong all the time, but you know, sometimes it does. I only found I get that really when messing about, when flicking backwards and forwards. If it's just closing it like that, it works no problem. But what I did find was in the car, I put it in like this, and sometimes these icons at the bottom, like the phone icon or the messages icon, would just not do anything. Now see, it's perfectly fine now, and I'm not sure if it's something in the car that's touching the back, you know, the cradle is touching the back and causing these to lock. So I've got a bit of work to do on that, but I've never experienced that issue out of the cradle. So that's something I'm just going to check over. Obviously there's the drawbacks everybody has talked about already. Camera. The camera app is fine if you're taking an outdoor still picture, it's fine, you know, whatever it is. But if you want to take great pictures, then you're going to need something like the Note. There's no comparison between the two. Taking a picture, there's a slight delay. If you're trying to do a selfie like that, it's okay, but you hit the thing and then you wait, and then it kind of takes a picture. So I think Microsoft could improve the camera app to improve the responsiveness to it, but they're not going to improve the image lens quality. And so that is where, if I was out and I wanted to take pictures, especially something fast moving, family, pets or anything like that, then really the Note 20 is anything that is going to, you know, that is the thing I'm going to carry on with me. I wasn't originally planning to carry this around me all the time, but I've switched to carrying this with it and just take this when I want to take some photos or something. The other reason to use something like the Note is NFC payments. Everything is contactless in the UK, and you got to carry your card around with you. But my solution for that, apart from using the device, is that I've got a wearable, which is the TicWatch, which is a Google Wear device, and that supports contactless payments with Google Pay, so that works fine for me. I have got a Samsung watch, like I mentioned earlier, but that only supports Samsung Pay, and my bank doesn't support Samsung Pay. So ideally my bank would support that, I would have one device. So it kind of got a combination of devices to take out. So if I really want to go out lightweight and only take one device, then I take this device, probably with the Android Wear or the Google Wear watch, or take this and my card and just tap to pay with the card as well. It's not the end of the world, but it is one of the restrictions. The other thing that many people have mentioned is wireless charging, and obviously no wireless charging on this. I do have a wireless charger in the car, and previous phone was a Pixel 2 XL, which didn't have wireless charging, so I just used to plug the cable in the bottom, which is fine, although I have seen reports that some people have issues with the port cracking. It hasn't done on mine, but I'm very careful when I plug it in, and repeatedly put it in and out in the car might not be a good thing. On the plus side is you don't really need to plug it in, because the battery life is really good. I'm finding this, okay, I've been using this since 8 o'clock this morning, on and off, not all day, obviously, you know, not sat on it, but picking it up, playing around with it, doing some checks. It's at 58%. I've been using this less today, just doing some testing, and this is at 69%, but I actually found the battery in the Duo was lasting longer than the Note for equivalent like for like, and I think that's partly due to the screen of the Note, the 120Hz screen. So really battery life isn't an issue with this. I get all day with it, no problem at all, and so I'm not really worried about charging. I just charge it when I go to bed on the bedside cabinet with the USB-C charging. So yeah, wireless charging is an issue, but you know. So overall what you get is a device that feels fantastic to use. It's it really feels like the device that to get away from those boring sort of slab phones. It works with a Surface Pen as well. I've got a pen and that's great for OneNote. And using OneNote even that way on a desk in a meeting, or just have it flat like that, you know, taking notes on it works really well. So OneNote, brilliant. I usually use that anyway, and the pen works with it. This is one of the older pens. This isn't the new sort of one that would click magnetically on the slim pen, but it works perfectly fine. I've got a couple of Surface Pens and I've had no issues working with that. Some of the older ones as well. I've got it paired up with the Surface earbuds and also some Samsung Galaxy Buds. No problems with that at all. So great size. Look, that 4x3 opens up into a brilliant device. I certainly don't use a small tablet. I used to use a small tablet. Sometimes I used to sit on the sofa with a Surface Go. I don't anymore. I use this depending on what I'm doing. If it's an app that only works a single screen, then I'll perhaps leave it on the single screen, or I'll drag it and span it across, and you know, something like Reddit. It's a great device to be able to span, you know, to read when it's in that span, or just browsing on the sofa at night like that, and you know, it works really well. And then when you close it, it's gone, and I kind of like that thing closed and you're done. So that's my thoughts on the Surface Duo. So I keep the main SIM in here. I've still got this other SIM in here, but I'm really loving the Surface Duo. There's a lot to like about it. And I hope for version 2 that we see wireless charging, NFC, better camera, and that's about it really. And more app supports, not just from the Microsoft apps, but from other apps. And hopefully, because of the Samsung Flip and the other Samsung dual screen devices, and more manufacturers bringing out dual screen devices, we'll see more optimization for dual screen. So thanks for watching this video. Any questions, you can drop me a line at iSticks on Twitter. I'm on theDiscLifestyle.com. Thanks for watching on our YouTube channel, and I'll see you on the next video.